Well, hello, welcome everybody to my channel. I'm so excited and honored to host, along with Tyler tonight, a very special cause for the Aramis Creative Learning Center. We have been going at this for 5 years or more, and I really want to thank everybody out there that have been with me since the beginning. I see some of you in the chat that have been with me since the beginning, and tonight is going to be a very special night. We have lots of great guests. We have a lot of great prizes, and we will announce them soon. But Tyler, welcome, and thank you so much for co-hosting with me tonight.
Thank you so much for asking me to co-host with you. I've been behind Aramis ever since I learned about it. This has been an amazing thing that you've been doing for some time now, and I've always been a believer in it. And I am just here to help you raise any money that's necessary to get this thing off the ground, because I truly believe that these children need a new education system like you've created. And I'm just excited to be a part of this, and I'm happy. There's an amazing lineup of guest speakers tonight, some amazing prizes to give away, and I couldn't be more grateful to be here, honestly. And I'm just very happy to be a part of this mission, so thank you.
Well, actually, that reminded me, probably right away, I'm just going to go ahead and put this up here. So this is the guest schedule tonight. So we have Jessica Jones, Solreta, Antaria, Lily Nova that are going to be joining us for the first half hour. Actually, Lily will probably hang out with us all night if we can convince her to. And then Laura Van Tyne, Lynn will follow with Jean-Charles Moyen and Yssah and Dr. Alex Bloom. And then we will end the evening with this lovely trio, Michael Jaco, Sacha Stone, and Scott McKay. So it's going to be a really fun evening. So I'm going to go ahead real quick and invite our first guest on to join us. There we go. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi. Happy Friday.
So we're going to go ahead and start with you, Sol. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing this weekend, and how children's education is important to you, and what are your thoughts on New Earth education?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for having me, and it's so nice to be here with you all and to connect with everyone that's in the chat as well. And yeah, so I'm a mom of 3. So I work as a psychic and work also doing tarot readings, specializing in ET UFO side of things as well. So for me, I actually put my kids through alternative education. So I think you guys call it Waldorf or Tyne over where you are. So my kids went through that system. And what we saw in lockdown is there's still a lot of mainstream influence. There's still a lot of predictive stuff that's happening where you don't sort of have full autonomy or control over what's being taught. So yeah, a lot of programming that we see that's happening in the mainstream is still happening in a lot of alternative schools. So with my children, the 2 little ones, which my kids are now 25, 19, and 17. So it's going back, we've had a long time span of education over here in Australia, and myself not fitting in the box with education, being dyslexic and also, being very intuitive as well. There's not sort of like a one size fits all solution that I've found over here, even in the alternative side. One thing that we did try was called Shoshita method, which is kind of like a psychic school for kids, but they focus on the whole brain approach. So they really activate the right brain learning as well as left brain learning. And you're actually working with telepathy and other different skills and gifts. And so that's why I'm so excited to see what it is that you're doing, because not only are you nurturing the kids on, on an educational level, but it's also spiritual, it's also mental wellness, emotional wellness, and it's also bringing together parents where we have a very like-mindedness and a very like-heartedness too. So I love what it is that you're doing, and having been a parent for so long, just really, really excited.
Yeah, thank you for being here, Solreta. I know that, well, for one, I don't have children, but I've always loved children, and having children, it must be difficult sometimes understanding, what this education system is that we've been handed. So, like, what would you say to somebody? Like, what would you say to inspire someone to invest in this and support this movement?
Yeah, I think we sometimes will think that we're such like a small amount of people coming together to do something like this. But when you think about, sometimes it's just educating the right children that will go ahead and make the difference. And that's what you see, that some of the kids in the alternative systems, when you start to look at who's homeschool educated or who's, educated in some of these systems, they actually go on to create huge impact and huge change in the world. So what looked like it might be, a smaller sort of startup, or we might wonder, why are we investing into something in this way? Sometimes you just don't realize where the greatest impact will be. So yeah, I've gone on to see some of the kids that have gone through some of the alternative schools over here. They don't have as much of a program as what you see with a lot of the mainstream. So they think outside the box. I remember hearing a quote from a college professor who said that some of the alternative homeschool or Waldorf kids were some of his favorite to teach because they had such a beautiful imagination. They didn't sort of come up with the standard box answers or, essays and I guess thoughts that a lot of the kids are programmed for. And, with us growing up, I guess we've got a multiple different age spans across tonight. We do see how a lot of us maybe didn't fit into those systems. And I think there's so many more parents now that are awake to the collective programming that's happening, not just with our schools and children, but, across the board with all areas of life. And I think this is probably the most fundamental point that we need to change first, is the kids and the school, and then the parents are also part of that. So it's not just that we're doing it for the children. I also feel like with my kids' education that it was just as much for me being connected to like-minded community as well.
Yeah, I actually think that's a great point, that this isn't just for the children, but for the parents as well. Sherri, whenever we were working on that promo that we'll play about halfway through tonight for everybody, one of the parts that struck me was that it's a humanitarian project and it's free for parents, right? And as I was choosing imagery for that part of the film, it was really interesting. Like, what was I seeing in my head? And I was just seeing like this weight taken off of the shoulders of these parents who would love for their children to be a part of something like this, but they can't afford it, right? So maybe, Sherri, you can explain a little bit about like what that involves. And also, I think it'd be important to, if Solreta has time, to kind of go through like what people are going to expect tonight as far as some of these giveaways and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Solreta, real quick, because I know you don't have a lot of time, I just want to thank you real quick for offering a complimentary tarot card reading. So one of the raffle prizes this evening that you can win is as a session with Sol, and her sessions are very special. She's very intuitive and capable and beautiful, and I've never had anybody say anything bad about you. And so thank you so much for offering that session for some lucky winner. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I wanted to be able to give or contribute to tonight. So I can't wait to read for the lucky person and to see how the universe brings things into alignment, because I think there's always a reason. So yeah, definitely get in and support tonight, because yeah, so many amazing prizes, not just, the reading with myself. I see there's multiple different readings and iridology and all sorts of other kinds of consultations.
Yes, I am just overwhelmed with gratitude of all the support. I just want to say that there are so many more prizes available than we are offering tonight. Jessica, thank you so much. You donated a beautiful hummingbird necklace that I want to steal for myself, but I won't. But I have 2 local charity events coming up, and so we are hoarding things for that event as well, which your necklace will be for some lucky winner in Palm Beach County. But Solreta, you're welcome to hang out as long as you can. I know that your family's going camping for the weekend, so have a great time. Thank you so much for joining in.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I will actually get going. I can hear my partner in the background.
Okay, I figured.
But yeah, thank you so much. Good luck,
thank
guys.
you. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful night.
You too.
You too. Okay, back to your question real quick, because I would love to hear from Jessica and Lily. So the concept came to me through my daughter, Aramis, which is why I named it Aramis, because she brought to my attention along with many children that I work with throughout the years, the need for conscious education. The way the public school is operating right now is clearly not in pursuit of knowledge. It's clearly an indoctrination factory to keep the sheeple mentality going. And so these children need to be honored. We need to stop labeling them, and we need to stop separating them, and we need to allow them to learn their passions through exploration, by being outside, by being with animals. And if I can't afford to send my daughter to a center that I want to create, then that's where the passion in me ignited, where I was like, wait a second, if I can't send my daughter there, then I'm not going to do it. Because there are centers all over the world that have animal therapy and all sorts of amazing opportunities, but they're $20,000 a year. And that's just, that's really not in the budget for most people. So this is a humanitarian project, and it's really an initiative, because it's about shifting the trajectory of education for children worldwide, where they have a place to go that is free. And so it takes a community. It's going to take communities worldwide to work together to make this happen. This vision is really massive. And if you asked me 10 years ago if this is something I would be willing to do, I would have been like, no. So I had to be gradually led towards it through my daughter and my own children and the need. So hopefully that answered your question, Tyler. There's so much more to it, but you'll wait for the commercial that Tyler made. And tonight we'll premiere it. But Jessica, we'll have you speak next. Jessica, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for donating the hummingbird necklace. Thank you for all the amazing work you do with cryptids. And I met you and your son, and he's amazing, just like you. What do you want to add to children education, and what are your thoughts?
Oh my gosh. I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing, Sherri. I'm so proud of you. And I love your daughter too. Oh my gosh. Our kids had a lot of fun together. Some of these conferences, you and I end up running into each other a lot at the conference, on the conference circuit and stuff. And we're friends outside of the podcasting and stuff. Okay. But I think it's wonderful. I do have, my son is about to be 12 years old, and he has put in some, I'm going to call it boots on the ground field research in the public school system. Is what he's been doing. And, I am a boots on the ground field researcher when it comes to Bigfoot and all the cryptids out there and stuff. And I'm lucky enough to be able to take my son out in the field with me, and also to teach him the things that I've learned. I mean, when I was pregnant with my son, I was in intensive remote viewing training with my team. And so I feel like through osmosis, my son is a good remote viewer already. There's osmosis. Yeah. I know. I'm kidding y'all. But really, I've been blessed enough to be able to, be trained in things like remote viewing and really hone in my psychic skills. And I know that runs in my family, and I know it's passed down to my son. So I'm able to help him out with all that. But it would be wonderful to have a resource like the Aramis Creative Learning Center here in Georgia, where I live. And I might have to come down to Florida, Sherri. I may have to come down to Florida and bring my son. Seriously, are you hiring? I'm kidding.
You don't even know how many people I am trying to recruit down here.
Oh, really?
To come work with me. Tyler knows. I was like, Tyler, come work with me. I've asked, I want all the cool people to move down, though. I don't want the special people from the north to move down. I want all the open-minded, people that are open to community. Please come. Yes, I'm hiring.
All right, we'll talk about it. We'll talk. Okay. But yeah, I'm lucky enough to be able to nurture my son in the ways that, the public school system is the one that he goes to is wonderful. I do have my qualms. Okay. I still do. Okay. But, and he's not getting that extra, you know what I mean? They're not focusing on the esoteric and the, getting into the psychic abilities and things like that. So when he was first born, like I said, I'm part of a remote viewing team and a highly switched on psychics and stuff. And so I was taught, and he was kind of brought into this, where I was taught how to teach him and train him in his psychic skills and stuff like that. So I've been able to do that myself, but it would be so wonderful to have that resource in all the communities around the United States and all over the world. And so I applaud you, Sherri, for doing things like this. and for giving kids a hands-on approach to the real world. Okay, the real world, and it's almost like the esoteric street smarts. I know that sounds silly, but it's not
the
street
Aramis,
smarts.
Yeah, the Street Smart Learning Center. I love it.
Street smarts, spiritual street smarts.
It
These
really
spiritual
is like
are crazy.
It's like the foundational learning. Like they took that out of the educational process, and it should be fundamental and foundational, and they took that out. So I'm putting that back in, so that they have a chance, to thrive. Lily, hi, Lily.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks so much for inviting me. It's such an honor to be a part of this. So thank you. And thank you for all of your hard work. I know how passionate you are. And yeah, I'm just really excited for this.
Oh, thank you, Lily. Lily makes me emotional because whenever we talk about it, she starts to cry, and then I want to cry. I came to your house recently, and like the second we saw each other, and you were like, "I'm just getting so emotional," and you just like teared up. And then the other day we did a live together, and then you teared up again, and I'm like, "Damn it, Lily, you keep it together so I can keep it together." But I love
I'm already
that.
crying again right now.
But you know what?
Seriously.
It shows the need. Like this is like, I'm not doing this to get famous. I'm certainly not doing this to get rich. I don't make 1 penny off of I haven't made 1 penny off of Aramis Creative Learning Center in the last 5 years. I give all of the money basically to the mentors that do all the teaching, and they know that. This is really important. This is something bigger than me, and it's bigger than Aramis. I just call it Aramis, but she knows this is not just for her. This is for children of the now and children for the generations to come, so that hopefully the next generation is raised like this, right? And so we have a very different reality, and then it just keeps growing and getting more beautiful as we traverse time and space and unite.
Right. Hey, Sherri, really quick before we move on to Lily, someone made a suggestion. Maybe you can put the donation link in a banner on the screen, just scrolling at the bottom.
I thought about that, but can people copy and paste that? I thought that might be hard
but yeah, they might be able to at least see it. I don't know. It's just a thought.
The only reason I didn't do that is because I thought that I was like, how will people be able to copy and paste that? But hold on, I'll do. You talk real quick while I do that.
All right. Well, Lily, welcome to the show. Sherri just gave you a beautiful introduction. And for those who don't know, Lily is astrophotographer turned ET contactee experiencer. And she has done some amazing work with her own YouTube channel, Lily Nova Starseed. But Lily, why is this mission important to you? What would you say to encourage people to invest in this movement? Because it really is a movement. It's not just one creative learning center. I think what we're doing today is going to create a ripple effect across the entire world. What are your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that 100%. And the reason why I get so emotional about it, and I was already crying like 10 minutes ago just thinking about what I was going to say. I'll keep it together though. About a year ago, I had a dream where I went and visited the location. So this is like, and I felt the opened, Aramis location. So I really got to feel the love and importance behind that, and knowing that this is actually going to be a reality. It's incredibly important. Now, I don't have any children myself, but yeah, I don't know, that dream that I had, it was so real, and it really highlighted the importance to me, and also helped me to just know the important work that we're doing and that Sherri's doing, especially that like literally this is happening, but we just need people's help to make it happen. Mm-hmm. And also I didn't know that it was going to be a humanitarian project where it was going to be free. That's incredible. Like that's unheard of. So thank you for that.
Just got goosebumps everywhere.
Yeah, that's amazing. Something else I wanted to say is when I was tuning in for 2026, a big message I was getting was that this was a year of transition, where a lot of the old systems are really starting to dissolve and new systems are coming online. But we have to build those systems. And I think that's literally exactly what's happening. So that's exciting. It's like a big transitional, like we're receiving like a big leap. So I didn't even know that you were planning to open this year. And so it's like this snowball effect, I feel like, that's just going to perpetuate and grow and grow and grow. So yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, maybe I should, Tyler, real quick. Maybe a lot of people don't know, like, the reason I started talking about this 5 years ago and I haven't opened a center yet is not because I didn't want to. It's because opening up a humanitarian funded learning center to the capacity of, like, what my vision is so grand that it's going to cost millions of dollars to run each center. And if I open one in every city, in every state, or at least multiple cities in every state, and then worldwide, we're talking billions of dollars. We have to pay the staff. We have to take care of the animals and purchase land. And for it to be free to families to enjoy. And, it's a huge endeavor. And I will tell you, I've had millionaires approach me years ago and said, we can open this right now. But they wanted to invest. They wanted me to charge $20,000 a year for children to go there so that we would make money. And I said, absolutely not. And I said, I refuse to open this school until it's humanitarian funded. And that is why I'm so stubborn. And I have literally dragged my feet and I've said no so many times now that people have got mad at me. And they're like, you can open this right now if you wanted to. And I said, if I can't open it up for free, then I'm not going to do it. Because otherwise, to me, it defeats the entire purpose of what I'm trying to create. So it's a lot harder to get people to donate. And the donations that we're receiving from all of you beautiful people, thank you so much. Every dollar counts. But it's the larger donations from, multimillionaires who, who believe in taxes and need a tax break, or who are philanthropists, or who are humanitarian focused and want to support something like this. Those are the big donors that are going to streamline this for us. And so, those are the people that I'm trying to reach through the books that I write, through the podcast I go on. I am working all the time. I never stop. And that is why, because the more I can get my voice out there, I'm going to catch the right one, And so this is the year, though. It's the year of the fire horse, and I'm making this happen.
Yeah.
One way or the other. It's going to happen. I know I'm not taking no for an answer this year.
Yeah. And I would like to add, this is how we create abundance as well. So like abundance doesn't necessarily start with money, right? It starts with, it's an energy exchange. And whenever you're doing something for the right reasons with your heart, following your passion, and you're in integrity the entire time, and you're standing behind what you believe in, that, the universe will pay that forward and you'll get paid back in return. Like what goes around comes around. So I feel like you'll generate abundance in a way that where the school will somehow find a way to run itself. Right. And I think it's just it's an amazing opportunity for people to, like, I do call it an investment, because you're investing in the future of humanity when you do this. So it's not necessarily like you're investing in something that you're going to get a return on financially, but you're going to get a return karmically. And I think that's what's important here. It's not just about, we're going to open up a new school. This is the beginning of a movement, like I said earlier. And that's what's exciting to me.
Yes, exactly. Beautifully said. Jessica, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you have something else that you wanted to say?
Oh, no. I was just talking about my kid and stuff. And I think it's a wonderful thing for kids to have a hands-on approach. Like I said, my son's in, I call it his public school boot camp field research right now, right? Boots on the ground, actually, is what I said. But he calls it a school, a prison for children is what he calls it. Okay. But anyways, that's my kid. Okay. So he sees everything differently, and he gets in trouble a lot because he thinks so outside the box. You can imagine with a mother who chases Bigfoot for fun and has
you're like the cool. I want you to be my mom, Jessica. You're the cool.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure you do that for a living, not for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really wild. You would, you think my son would think outside the box, but he's really outside the box. He's very vocal about things, and everything that I say, he takes it like a sponge. But really, he's his own person. He's very independent. He's an independent thinker. I guess that's a good way to put it. And so he does get in trouble at school for questioning everything and stuff. And I think it does take children like that. And that's why I feel like it's okay that he's in the school that he's in right now, because he's there to be almost like a disruptor, to make people think outside the box, including his teachers and stuff. So there are children. If your child is in public schools, y'all, it's okay. My son's in public school. And yes, I do get calls from the teachers all the time. Okay. It's just part of it. And it's okay. But the future is like with Aramis, the Creative Learning Center, Sherri, and I'm just so looking forward to the future. And I hope that I can get my son into, a program like that in the future, because he needs it. But right now he is disrupting the living daylights out of his school. Okay. That's what he's doing for the better.
I'm really glad you said that, Jessica, because that's what I tell my clients every day. That their children are in public school. I say that exact word. I said, we need children in public school because we need them to show that there is a problem, and they are disruptors, and they need to tell us what's wrong, and they need to tell their teachers that this isn't working, and ask the questions and say, I don't resonate with this. I have two sons I have a son right now who's about to go into high school. He's in public school, and he's thriving. He loves it. But he's a little nerdlinger. I love him to death. He's a little STEM engineer fanatic, and he loves school. And okay, it's fine for him, but I make sure that I teach him the things that he's not learning at home. That he has it's well balanced. So I'm not, boycotting and saying I hate public school, because it does work for some. And I think that we need children in there to be the disruptors, so that we can help break the paradigm down and rebuild it the right way. Right. So everyone's serving their purpose.
Absolutely.
Sherri, now might be a good time to explain to people how they can win a prize and go over the rules for tonight. Yes. Is that something you want to do now?
Yes. Thank you for keeping me on track. See, this is why Tyler is actually hosting and I'm the co-host. Okay. So I'm going to put this on stage on the screen here. I'll make it a little bit bigger. So we have 22 raffle prizes that we'll do a little slideshow. It's also listed in the description in the description box. So basically, starting from tonight, 7 p.m. till tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So you have 24-hour window. Any donation of $10 acts as one raffle prize. So every $10 you donate is like one ticket. And so if you donate $20, you basically have two tickets. So the more quote unquote tickets you have, the more chances you have to win. So your names will be put in a bin based on how many raffles you have. And my daughter will be the one to, because she loves this stuff, she will choose the prizes. I'm sorry, she will choose the raffles and see who wins. Now, the way you decide what prize you want is that in the donation box, I should have had a picture for you, but when you go to the donation link on PayPal, there is a box that I created that says, what are your top 3 raffle prize preferences, something like that. So you're going to write in there number 1, number 2, and your third option. And it will go in the order that you're chosen. So we will email you the next day, and you will, if you are the first one to get that first prize, you will get the first one or the second one or the third one. And if not, you'll have options of what's left. So that's kind of how it will go. So write in the box what your preferences are, or we will go with the people who actually wrote the preferences, and then you'll get what is kind of left over. There are no bad prizes, by the way. We just want people to have a choice. If you do not want a prize and you're just donating from the kindness of your heart, which I completely I'm grateful for, just write no prize, you don't want a prize, and then we won't put you in for that for the raffle. So how was that? Did that make sense to you guys? Oh my god, how did I get rid of everybody?
Yeah, that was wonderful. Can you hear me still?
Hold on, how do I put you back up?
Oh,
there we go. I'm sorry, guys.
more on the side now. So
There we go.
maybe, and at what point do you want to go through some of the prizes so people can see what?
I was thinking might be a good time before we let Laura and Abby are in. So hang tight, my lovely best friends. And I will do that really quickly. So let's do that now, actually. So I'm going to add that to the stage. So we have Solreta is going to offer a tarot card reading. We have Laura Van Tyne offering a spiritual consultation. Thank you so much, Laura. We have an inner blueprint iris experience. My friend is going to read your iris. A voice alchemy session with Abby Lynn. Thank you so much, Abby. One of my friends is going to do a holistic telemedicine appointment. We have a quantum biofeedback session with Joyce Pellegrini. We have a AO voice print scan that will scan your voice and give you all sorts of crazy information. My full 11 books of my Divinely Guided Children's series, including the newest one. All 5 of my books is another prize. Ashley Hensley, thank you so much for donating all of your children's books. So you'll get one of each of hers. We have an animal communication session with myself and a soul reading with myself. And Jenny Lee is offering a remote body perception session, as well as an animal communication session. So she's offering 2. So thank you so much, Jenny. I did not update this. Actually,
I'll talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, it might be in the slideshow. I'm going to keep going. This one is the Star Knowledge Conference. You have a ticket to come, or you can choose to watch virtually. We also have the Angelic Reunion Conference in Mount Shasta. Jonathan's offering a free in-person ticket for that as well. So 2 conferences. My friend Joanna's offering her beautiful artwork. You can choose. There's actually more than this. So if you're interested in her artwork, I can send you the options. There's about 7 to choose from. A quantum life treatment with Amy St. Michael. Thank you so much. My beautiful friend Jessica is donating her Wendy, which is friendship organite pyramid. It's pink opal, strawberry quartz, and Botswana agate. It's going to be, it's actually gorgeous. I have it in my other room. I want to keep it for myself. It's beautiful. Thank you, Jessica. She always donates for these. Oh, no, that's not everything. We're missing stuff. Hold on. We're missing. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. We also have a a Michael Jordan championship framed with 6 rings with a autograph at the bottom. It's a reproduced autograph, so it's not a real autograph. It's just one of those, you know what I'm talking about, recreated ones. It's pretty big size. And then Tyler, tell everybody about the Journey to Truth.
Yeah, so we are offering just a free virtual pass for the conference, and coming up in Hawaii on April 20th. But we also had a very kind donor. Somebody had to unfortunately cancel their trip at the last minute. And instead of asking for a refund for their tickets, they wish to remain anonymous. But instead of asking for a refund, they asked if we could donate them to charity, or Sherri's charity. Charity's Sherri. So we have 2 in-person passes to Hawaii that you could potentially win in this raffle, and they're each $1,000 value. So I know it's last minute, but if you feel like you would like to come to Hawaii in 20 days, then you can, or in less than 20 days, actually, then you can apply to win those.
That's awesome. I want to go. And then they still have the virtual option as well, right?
Yeah. And the virtual pass is an option as well. So okay. You can win you can enter to win a virtual pass or a live or in-person ticket. And there's 2 in-person tickets available. So,
sorry, didn't update it correctly. So this is the framed Chicago Bulls championship example. There's a picture of it. Thank you to my lovely dad who donated this, and he's donating a ton more for the other auction that we're doing. And then Yssah also donated a session. I just want to put it up here real quick because I just want to honor everybody who donated something, and I don't know what happened with the video, but she's donating a beautiful session as well. So thank you, Yssah. I think that is all 22. So I'm going to go ahead and invite my dearest friends on as soon as I figure out how to get rid of, sorry guys, I'm not a professional like Tyler. Jessica, you're welcome to hang out. And of course, if you have things to do, you are also not obligated to stay. But thank you so much for hanging out so far with us. I'm going to go ahead and
thank you guys. Sherri, I'm going to
Yes.
hop off.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It was an honor being asked to be here tonight. Thank you guys so much. Everybody, have a wonderful night. And thank you
Bye,
again,
Jessica.
Sherri. All right, bye, y'all.
Oh, Abby, Lynn, and Laura Van Tyne. Laura Van Tyne is my Demon Slayer bodyguard. Abby Lynn is the most amazing person I know, and they're my dear friends. Thank you so much for coming on.
I almost changed my title.
You should.
You definitely should. Yeah, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome. Thank you for being a part of this wonderful event that Sherri's throwing tonight.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. It's fun to be here.
Yeah, honored to be here. Can you guys hear me okay? I had speaker issues before I came on. Good?
You sound great.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Yeah. So, Sherri, I'll let you choose who you would like to address first, and we can move forward with it.
Oh my gosh, don't put that pressure on me. Tyler, you asked somebody a question.
Just pretend you're flipping a coin.
Well, okay. So, I guess we'll start with Laura.
Okay.
Laura, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. You know, I know you've known Sherri for a while, and you and Abby and Sherri, you host retreats together, and you've all gotten to know each other very well. And you fully understand what Sherri is doing here with this Creative Learning Center. So what would you say to encourage the audience or anyone listening that is interested in donating and supporting this mission? What would you say to them, and why do you believe in this so strongly yourself?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm a former public school teacher. And when I started teaching, it was amazing. I could do anything I wanted with my kids as far as learning objectives and all of these elements. And over time, the constraints kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And so now in our public educational system, the kids sit down, they regurgitate information, they fill in a bubble, and we call that learning. But that's not learning. So what Sherri is proposing is, I'm going to call it back to what education should be. The kids get to learn hands-on. They get to learn through experiences. They get to have, I'm assuming they get to have choices to a certain degree. They're still going to need to learn how to read and write, etc. But this gives kids sovereignty over what they want to learn. So they can they get their passions put forward and set forth. So they get put in a direction that they want to go into, versus just sitting and waiting. And one of my biggest pet peeves about education, and this is especially true for boys than girls, but girls too, they're demanded that they sit down and be still for hours on end. And their bodies are not built that way. I remember my last year teaching, I had this little kiddo who was like, everybody's like, oh my God, you got this kid, right? And I just looked at him. I said, look, you feel like you're getting a little squirrely energy in you, you go take a lap, the track's right there, you come back, end of discussion. Never an issue. You can't do that stuff anymore. So what Sherri is proposing is the ability to give children leadership over what they choose to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a beautiful, I think that's actually the most crucial part of this whole thing. And how many times do we open a chapter in a textbook and like, okay, we're going to learn about this, the 3 branches of the government. Like no kid cares about that, you know? So it's amazing to let them choose and take it outdoors. So I think that's a wonderful thing. And Abby, you know, I know you have children yourself, and you have children who are, you know, in the schooling system, and I'm sure you can relate to some of the struggles that Laura just talked about. But what do you see why this education system needs to be revamped?
So yes, I am a mother of 3, and I have done public school. We did private school. I did homeschool, and now we're in a charter school. So I've kind of seen it across the board experience with that. And so even in the charter school, a couple days ago, my daughter came home. They're in high school. My youngest is in high school now. And she said, "Mom, listen to the dumbest thing that they just implemented at my school. Makes no sense." She said, "If we have to go to the bathroom, we now have to log on to our iPads in class. We have to request to go to the bathroom on the iPad. The teacher has to come over to their desk, see that I've requested it, approve it on their computer. And then once they press the button accept, then it starts a timer. So then it can see how long, and then that is now logged and recorded."
That sounds like a Saturday Night Live skit.
It is a Saturday Night Live skit. Most of the
insane.
education experience that I've experienced with my kids is a Saturday Night Live experience skit. And to which I told my kids, you've had to go to the bathroom, stand up, and just walk out the door and go. I will deal with the repercussions of this. Because even in the private school situation, they were denying my daughter bathroom privileges to the point where then she got a urinary tract infection. So I had to go to a doctor and have a doctor write a note, and I gave it to all the teachers that if my daughter has to go to the bathroom, she can just get up and just go to the bathroom, because they gave her a UTI because they kept telling her she couldn't go.
Wow.
Abby, in one of my daughter's high schools, they shut down all bathroom privileges except for the lunchtime hour at a high school.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sherri, you need to add that to your promo video. Pee
What?
anytime.
Go anytime.
On your time.
Pee
Right.
anytime.
I love that comment. Hashtag 94367. You may take a potty break.
Yeah.
That is insane. I just want you guys to know I have a reputation at my son's school because I am that parent that when I walk in the door, like everyone is like, oh shit. Because I don't mess around, and I don't like the school my son goes to, but he likes to go there because of the STEM program. And I'm telling you, this kid got lunch detention for wearing the wrong color. His pants were wrong. And I come in that school and I'm like, he is not serving lunch detention. I am taking him home for lunch, and I have threatened them. And oh my God, I lose it. I just can't take it. And I'm like, Skylar, just give me one more reason to pull you out of that school. Just one more reason. I just can't take it. But I do give my children autonomy. And if he wants to go there, I won't force him out. He's still getting a good education. But I do not like how they treat these children like they are in prison. When they can go to the bathroom, they can't. When they eat lunch, their feet have to be inside the table, and they have assigned seating, and they're not allowed to get up. They're from their table. It's prison. It's prison.
I remember they implemented 1 year at one of my kids' schools that no one was allowed to talk during lunch anymore because they said the kids were talking too much and not eating. So it was silent. They implemented silent lunch. When I was talking about prison, when you guys were talking about earlier. So when I was a senior, we could write an essay to try to see if you could give the graduation speech. And the essay that I wrote was how public school system is like a prison.
Wow.
I was not chosen.
Doing that.
I wasn't chosen to give that speech.
Real learning actually comes from conversations with one another.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the conversations we have and what we get to learn from each other. They're being denied the opportunity to learn how to converse.
Yeah. When for most of all my homeschooling years for my kids, we just sat around the kitchen table and we had conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just, oh, this is what we need to learn. But I asked the question, why do you think we need to learn this? Why do you think this is important? And then what can we derive from this? And one of the first things that I did too, two comments, but one of the first curriculums that I implemented for the kids was what is propaganda and how to see through it. And so we watched a lot of different documentaries, and we looked at how China implemented their one child and how did they convince their entire population to do that to themselves? So we walked through that because I used to work in the media. So I know how that whole apparatus works. And so throughout the blip, I'm not going to give it any other name than that, we were able to study and see all the propaganda that the media was pushing out. And my kids, we were all just laughing at it at that point. I mean, they're uncorruptible at this stage. But the one thing I wanted to add was that when we first started homeschool, my day one was, what do you want to learn? And my children could not understand that concept. They couldn't. They said, what do you mean? What do we want to learn? I'm like, what are you interested in? And they literally, their brains like froze. They had no concept of it. And so seeing that reaction, I actually, for the first 2 weeks, we did like strict unschooling, where we just went and just did everyday life. And then what we looked for was, like, what gives you a spark? What gets you excited today? What do you want to go and see? And through that leapt into them figuring out, oh, I want to learn more. Like my son said, I want to learn more about gardening. So we did a whole curriculum about learning about gardening and sharing, like, I love that you're going to make that a part of your school, like with the animals and being outdoors, and just how important it is going out, touching the grass, touching the earth, touching animals, and being with that. Like Laura, you said that students go outside and run. I mean, it is vitally important for kids to get back to those basic roots of just being a human.
You're also bringing up to the point, a basic element and tenet of humanity is the ability to become grounded again. And so when we are out gardening, and I had gardens outside my classroom that we would work in, and I would literally have them go outside and we'd sit outside and read or whatever. And I avoided the abridged versions of whatever books, but getting grounded is a key to reducing anxieties, get key to soul sovereignty, and just learning how to be human. And we're being denied that. And I had to laugh, Abby, about your propaganda concept, because do you think they teach that nowadays? How to understand propaganda anywhere?
No. No.
We're learning it on the streets out here.
Right.
Right. I just have to talk about Mark's joke. I know he was making a joke, but he was asking about the jabs and what requirements in our school. And I don't need your medical records, and it's none of my business. And if people have, if people are uncomfortable with that, then I just want to say that what I'm creating is not for everybody, and that's okay. This is an alternative approach to learning that is not for everyone. So if you are a parent listening to this that you have your child's like life set, and you need them to go to Ivy League, and they have to be this physician working at this hospital and these internships and like heavy curriculum based life, and you've got their life all planned out for them, this is not for you. These learning centers are for children who are struggling in the public school sector because they are out of the box thinkers. They are innovative. They don't want to be told what to learn or how to learn or when to go to the bathroom. They want to explore what their passions are, and they shouldn't be forced by any curriculum. There is no way. I don't believe at this point, with as many starseeds coming in and the backgrounds that we come through and the wisdom that we have, that you can compare children anymore by age groups. There is no first grade, second grade, third grade. We need to start putting them in developmental stages and groups that we can accommodate different styles of learning. And it's not a one size fits all approach. But if that makes people uncomfortable that we don't have a curriculum, that because I believe that we are going to be ever changing and evolving. And Lily and I might have been talking about this the other night on her channel. It's all about growth. So what we do right now in 5 years might look completely different. And then in 10 years, it might look different. So it's holistic. It's an ever changing and ever evolving approach to learning that goes with the times. And it also goes with the demographics. So what we're doing here in Florida might be different if you live in the state of Washington, or it might look different if you live in the middle of central Texas, or it might look different if you're in Hawaii. The point is that depending on where you live, Aramis is just an umbrella. But the idea is that children get to choose within boundaries. Like Laura said, we're not just going to let them run rampant and just, whatever you want to do, and you set them free like animals in the pasture. No, we have structure, but they get to choose. So imagine college classes you remember back in the day, or a yoga studio, you choose the classes you want, and they can figure out what they want to do for the week based on what we're offering. And it will be anywhere from esoteric classes and metaphysical and outdoor and gardening and life skills, project-based learning, being with animals, all the way to you want to go learn in our health and wellness center about red light therapy and biofeedback and tuning forks and how to heal your body naturally and go inside of a harmonic egg to help with your anxiety. Like, who wouldn't want that? And they get to choose what they want to do for the week. So it's a very unique approach, but it is not for everybody.
And this also reminds me too, with all of everything is just basically memorization, right? Just regurgitating stuff in the education system now. But with, and AI is a very touchy subject right now, but with the advent of AI, the everything that we ever want to know is at our fingertips at all times. Like there's no point to study history and memorize all these pointless facts. So like that part of the equation has been handled already, and you don't have to lean into that, right? But what I'm saying is it actually can be a great tool for people that want to know the facts and want to know the very specific things about whatever certain event or subject that they're interested in. But then it actually frees up all this time now to actually allow for something like Sherri's creating. So we don't have to spend as much time just pumping all of this useless information into our children's heads, because half of it we don't use anyway. And I just think it's a really interesting thing. It's a really interesting way to look at this. And I don't know if anyone has any opinions on that, but I just thought I'd add that.
Go ahead, Abby.
Yeah, I just want to add to that, Tyler. There's really, and I was actually just talking to my kids about this a couple weeks ago. Going back to that root memorization, that was in a place where when we didn't have the internet and we didn't have AI at our fingertips on these things that we carry everywhere. We no longer need that root memorization anymore, because anything that you need to know, you can look it up in a second.
Right.
And you can, spend a whole day learning about it if you need to. That state of memorization was for when we only had books and you couldn't carry books when you were, you're on the job or traveling around. And so you needed that memorization. So a lot of things, they're just outdated now with where we're going and how we're shifting it.
And I'm not like advocating for AI. I see people in the chat going off. I'm just saying we have all the information we could ever want at our fingertips at the press of a button now, or even at a voice command. So there's no reason the education system needs to stay the way it is, because we're just stuck on a hamster wheel there. And I'm just trying to help people understand that we actually have room now. We actually have time to do other things like this. It doesn't have to be as rigid as it once was. And I think it actually allows space for us to be creative. And I just think it's really interesting the way it's all playing out, because it's here, whether we like it or not. Like that, it's everyone has one of these and everyone talks to it all day, every day. That's just the way it is. So let's break free from that and create something amazing and let the kids actually explore things and learn through conversation and all that.
Yeah. Tyler, I want to also bring up about AI is that we have to teach our children to be judicious with it, because it will not go away. I'm not a fan of it, but we have to give them parameters and we have to give them some understanding. Right. But my second note for Sherri and all those people out there listening to this, you have no idea what a Herculean effort she's taking on, and she doesn't need to do it. And I guarantee you she's not doing it for the paycheck, guys. It's huge. Coming up with the staff, the curriculum, all the things. It's huge what she's doing. And she is, I know personally, every ounce of energy she has, she's putting into this school because she's that passionate about it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, Lauren, stop. You're going to make me cry.
But it's true, man. It's something, I'll tell you what. Hell no for me, but good for you.
That's why I said if somebody came to me and said you're going to be doing this 10 years ago or so, I would have been like, heck no.
Yeah.
But you know, it had to come. It, just like with everything, it has to be organic, and it has to be a passion needs to develop. And I just want to say one real quick about the AI thing. I'm a very neutral person, and I truly believe in balance. And actually, I would like to give credit to my son Skylar, because he is a brainiac, and he is probably more intelligent than most people. He is like off the charts intelligent. He's going to be an inventor someday of something really important. I truly believe that. And he's taught me something really important, that it's all about balance. And we do need AI. It is a great tool, but we need to use our brains, and we need to use discernment, and it's everything is just about balance. And he's like, it's okay, Mom. We can use this technology to guide us as a tool. But the problem is when people rely on it, like my son, who's an FAU, and I will not say his name, who uses ChatGPT to do his essays for him. And I'm like, what are you learning? So, you know, it's like, where's the balance there? I love you, Jordan. So, you know, it's all about balance. And so that relates to anything in life. No matter what we're talking about, there's nothing is good in extreme. So it's all about finding that sweet spot. And that's what I'm really good at. And I've always been really good moderator, and I am really good at finding the sweet spot and balance in pretty much everything in life. And so thank you for saying that, Laura, because we both said, I don't think either one of us has met anyone that works harder than each other. And Abby, you work really hard. Tyler, you're constantly doing podcasts. Lily, we all work really hard, and no one can see behind the scenes how much we're doing. And we work tirelessly, but when there's passion, you know, we just keep going. We don't give up.
Yeah. Thank you. That was a beautiful comment and compliment from Laura to Sherri. I agree. You know, not everyone is willing to take this on. This is like whatever archetype, whatever soul or your soul mission is, Sherri, like this is it's a very ambitious project that is against all odds, really, when we're talking about going up against, you know, an entire global education system. But it has to start somewhere, and it is starting somewhere, and it's right now, even if it's a conversation. It is having an impact, and obviously everyone's support is having an impact as well. So thank you all who have donated already. And Sherri, I don't know if you want to, at what point you want to play one of the commercials. I know it's about time.
What? I would like to ask Laura one quick question before we move on and do the commercial. And I have our other guests waiting. And so thank you, Jean-Charles and Alex, for waiting patiently. Real quick, Laura, because you are amazing in so many ways. What can you recommend to those watching right now whose children are in public school and there's nothing they can do about it, you know, for a lot of reasons? How can they protect their children against 3D interference, voice to skull technology, a lot of the crazy mind control attacks that they're getting energetically? You know, what can they do to protect themselves, their children?
Thank you. That's a beautiful question. There's a lot that parents can do. And these school institutions are usually full of like heavy energy in general. You know, even the teachers are feeling it. Abby's teachers in her school don't want to deal with that little stupid iPad bathroom experience. But one of the best things we can do is send your children to school with angels. It's as simple as this. I'm requesting a team of angels to be with my child from the moment they leave the house till the moment they come back, and you're going to vet your angels. I want angels from the higher realms, and you can visualize yourself pouring salt on them as a very basic concept to make sure you get the proper angels for your kid. You're a taxpayer, so you have spiritual jurisdiction to clean and clear the schools, but don't bite off more than you can chew in that process, because schools are complicated. You can work on your child's classroom or maybe the lunch area and ask for the angels to give your child wisdom and guidance as they move about their day as well. And at night, you can telepathically talk to your child and encourage them. You know, I know this is kind of tough, but this is what you're going to do. Look for the silver linings and that kind of thing. Those are just a couple of really basic things. You can also spritz them with frankincense oil too. That's always good.
We've done lots of shows, Laura, on this concept, but I just wanted to do a quick one here
Thank
just
you.
in case anyone's listening. And Abby, I've been to your home. I've met your beautiful children. You are an incredible mother. Again, I would love for you to be my mom as well. You're like the best mom in the world. You know, what do you have anything that you want to add or say before we bring on the next guest?
In terms of
Just protecting your children, or just anything you want to say before we kind of move on.
I've always worked with my kids on the importance of really staying grounded. You know, we work in our own home first. So making sure that their rooms, their beds, their, you know, the mirrors aren't having portals going through, right? So we do active gridding, active clearing so they get good night's sleep. We work on the importance of keeping this healthy avatar, you know, keeping this avatar healthy. We work on the importance of honoring their body, honoring it, you know, by keeping this healthy, by loving this, loving themselves, we're able to continue on our soul mission. I work with my kids with that all the time. I work with them on having empathy, yet boundaries. So, you know, being an empowered empath so that, you know, my kids say like, oh, all of my friends, I'm my friend's therapist. I'm my friend's therapist. Okay, that's nice. They're feeling your energy. They're coming to you, but you also don't take on their problems. You don't take on their weight. It's there. It's good that you are a listener, but it doesn't mean that you have to be the solver of all of their problems. And then in terms of clearing themselves, frankincense, I make a clearing spray and it's in my kid's car. It's when we walk in the door, so we don't bring it into the house when they're out. And it's, you know, frankincense is the main ingredient. I do vocal alchemy into the water that's in there. And then also, you know, some cedar wood and some other goodies, but we have their clearing spray on them, and always with angels. My kids work with angels and dragons all the time. For protection in any type of space. You know, my son's out driving. All three of my kids are now driving now. And so we call in a lot of angels a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't forget to talk about the dragons, because Abby works, well, we all do, but Abby really brings in the dragon energy, which I think is magnificent for children, as well as the angels. And of course, you know, my motto, call on the animal kingdom. That's what I do. That's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Well, we have some.
Lisa, I want to say thank you to Lisa. Yes, your order got sent off today.
Oh, good. Well, I think this would be a great time. I want to first thank Tyler. So Tyler has been doing my promo videos since the beginning. Thanks to Abby for introducing us. Before Tyler knew who I was or anything that I did, I think it was 3 videos that you made for me before you even realized who the heck I was or what I was doing.
Or vice versa. You didn't know who I was.
And I didn't. Yeah, it was crazy. Anyways, Tyler is magnificent and has an incredible gift that should be honored. And I'm taking the second to just like tell everybody how amazing you are. And so tonight we are premiering the first Aramis like true commercial, kind of our elevator pitch, and this is what we are going to use to show our potential sponsors and donors moving forward. So without further ado, I think we should premiere it right now. Are you guys ready?
Yeah,
so excited. No one has seen it yet but me and Tyler.
And thank you.
Unless he snuck it to Lily. I don't know, but that's
I snuck it to Lily.
That's fine. Okay, here we go. Let's do this.
Hi, my name is Sherri Divband, and I am the founder and CEO of Aramis Creative Learning Center, a nonprofit for conscious education for children worldwide. So Aramis is conscious education. What does that mean? It means that children get the opportunity to choose what they're learning and understand why. What sets Aramis apart from the traditional school system is that we are creating 3 pillars of learning. So the first pillar is animal therapy. So we incorporate animals into learning. The second pillar is project-based learning and conscious education. The third pillar of learning for Aramis Creative Learning Center will incorporate a state-of-the-art health and wellness center at all of our campuses where children will have access to learning holistic and alternative natural modalities. The Aramis initiative is a movement. So what we are creating is just the foundation. It's just the first center of many to come. Our grand vision is to open up an Aramis Creative Learning Center in every major city and every state, as well as internationally. So this is a global initiative to change the trajectory of education for children, where they have the opportunity to thrive in an environment where they feel safe, where we can create a sacred space, where they can learn to be themselves and they are allowed to be who they are and unique and honored for their abilities. I created Aramis Creative Learning Center 5 years ago because my daughter struggled with anxiety, and it opened my eyes to this worldwide epidemic of children who are really struggling in the school system and they are not thriving. And I believe that this has been happening for generations, but the attention is shining upon these children now. So we offer a variety of learning styles that are for children that struggle with autism, who are neurodivergent, who have high anxiety, and who are not thriving in the public school sector. And so they are asking for this, and there is no better time to support this mission. We are a nonprofit, so all of these schools will be humanitarian-based. And what does that mean? That means that they will be free to families that gives their children the opportunity to attend an Aramis Creative Learning Center in their city for free. So we rely heavily on the donations, sponsorship, and support from the community worldwide to help us get this going. So our first learning center will be in Florida, but that's just the prototype. That's just the first center of many to come. We are asking for your help to get us off the ground, and so that we can shift the trajectory of the education for children for generations to come.
Hold on. I'm struggling
There we
again.
are.
There you go. I'm going to get this right at some point. That was amazing, Tyler. Thank you so much for creating that. Like, I was holding back the tears, and I've seen it like 17 times already. And I was like, don't cry. It was so good. You nailed it.
Well, thank you. I mean, it was all done with your direction. I just helped manifest it for you, but it was fun, and I was happy to do it. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and invite our next guest in. Laura and Abby, you're welcome to hang out, and you're also welcome to dip out. I'm sure you guys have things to do, but I'm going to go ahead and let them in. Thank you so much, Laura and Abby, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate your support.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
Thank you so much. And I'm just telling people, donate.
Yeah.
Donate. Yeah.
Donate. This is a beautiful concept. It's the time. Donate. Thank you so much, Sherri.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, guys.
Alex.
Wow.
John Charles.
Congratulations for this trailer. I was very emotional. That's, the sound and the presence of Sherri explain.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys for being here this evening. We have Jean Charles Moyen with us, who is a ET, Secret Space Program, paranormal experiencer and filmmaker, and among many other things, he's very gifted with telepathic and telekinesis abilities. And we have Alex Bloom, who is a spiritual psychologist, I call him, and the founder of 5D is that what it is?
You got it.
And which is a new program we can let him explain, and it kind of goes hand in hand with what Sherri's doing here, and it's helping adults as well. So we're very happy to have both of you here. And Alex, I guess while we're talking about that, maybe you can introduce yourself for one, and let everyone how this relates to kind of what you're doing and why you feel like you want to support this.
Well, so it's kind of multifaceted in terms of
where I feel my particular calling. The first is, we're entering a new era, as kind of I've been watching the show up till now, and just hearing about the other guests' commentaries and the vision for the school. It's so exciting. I got goosebumps multiple times. We have a new earth that's being birthed right now, a new world, a golden age, if you will. And part of that requires visionaries like ourselves to follow our inner passions and to architect what that means. So for me, that means building the science side of the fifth dimensional consciousness. So how can you learn about and master your inner world, your psychology? Because that's going to directly impact your vibration, which then directly impacts our ability to manifest. So the 5DU program is a start. And then from there, I have a vision kind of similar to Sherri's, that I want to start a 5D university where we teach these 5D concepts and whatnot, and have multiple branches with different colleges and disciplines and whatnot, and have that be also global. But that's going to be for older folks. For the younger folks, we're going to need school systems and supports that are going to be alternative to get folks ready for when they reach adulthood and whatnot. So all of this is a beautiful arc in terms of how we're all throwing our hat in the ring with what's coming online, And I see a lot of parents, excuse me. I see a lot of parents at work with what I do, and they're waking up, they're realizing that the old system is crumbling and it's not working anymore, but they're scouring around looking for, okay, but where do I go? What does that look like? I don't have the bandwidth or the resources or the know-how or necessarily the interest in wanting to do homeschool. I'm not really sure about charter schools and whatnot. Are there any other paradigms that are out there, especially for those parents who are maybe more spiritually inclined? And so having a vision like what Sherri is putting together, I just can't emphasize enough how important this is for our collective future. I heard a metaphor the other day that I really love, and I want to start using it. And the metaphor goes as follows. If you want to construct a new bridge, if the old bridge that gets you from point A to point B is no longer really as functional or working, or there's safety concerns or whatnot, the civil engineers don't come in and just implode the old bridge first, right? Because then no one gets from A to B. So what they do is they build the new bridge concurrently. Once that's finished, they make sure that's functionally working, and then they deconstruct the old bridge. So all of us who are feeling called at this time to contribute to this collective awakening in all of the different nuances of how we're contributing in that way are adding to what this new bridge looks like. And this school is an example of that. And so much so that then when this really starts to take off, that then the old paradigms just become irrelevant anymore. They don't work for everybody, like we're being shoehorned and pigeonholed to make them be currently. So I just can't speak enough about how wonderful this new type of schooling is going to be for these kiddos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Alex, I want to jump in real quick. Sorry, Tyler, because a couple people have asked about the age groups of Aramis, and I think what you just said, Alex, is perfect and fundamental, and it just happens so beautifully. So my concept is to start from ages of really whatever parents want, but as early as 5. There is no mandatory anything, and through high school. But the thing about it is that when children reach the age of 15, 16, instead of taking unnecessary classes that they don't really care about, they will be at an age where they will start to hone in on what they're really passionate about. And I will be working with organizations that we will partner up with. And then those children can start apprenticeships and internships in the work field that they are interested in doing and get to actually explore it. And I mean, how cool will that be, where they can actually go in and see what it's like to work in that environment? And I don't believe that there will be universities in the future. So what Alex is creating is actually a bridge that him and I can collaborate, because our children can funnel into your programs as they get older as well. And so that's what the future is about. It's about getting rid of these universities where you're spending up to upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars with so much debt, not able to get a job with these degrees. And instead, let's help these children find their passion and enjoy it, and then find an internship and an apprenticeship and work with the community so that everybody works together. So what you're creating actually fills in the gap of helping me work with the youth to find what their next step is. So I plan to help children from the ages of 5 all the way into their 20s by working and collaborating with people like you, Alex. So that was actually perfect what you said.
That's awesome. That's so exciting. The future is so bright, so bright. And I love that you mentioned apprenticeship, because this was the old way. This was how we used to learn back in the day, and it's so lovely to know that we are in all these different versions and iterations of what that entails, going back to an apprenticeship-based model. So I love it.
Hi, Skylar. I love you too. That's my boy.
Oh, that's amazing. Hey, it's so awesome he's watching.
Aw.
We need to get him on here and get his thoughts.
He'll never stop talking about engineering and STEM.
Hey, like you said, a bright future.
Jean Charles, I am so happy to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining in. I admire your work. I admire your amazing and absolutely beautiful wife, who reached out to me and said that she wants to come to our opening whenever we're ready. Of course, you're invited. Everyone is invited. We're going to have a grand opening and we're going to have a huge party. And I love your work. And we've talked a few times and we presented at a conference together. What are your thoughts based on what you're seeing in the world about how we can help these children and create a better and brighter future for them?
Oh, like said Alex, this is a very amazing years. For me, I think we are very close for a big disclosure. And if this disclosure happen, there is a lot of gates open. And the first beings in the front line is the children. Because the children is the future. And the children now on Earth have a lot of abilities. And this is the reason why I think your project, Aramis, is like, the school in X-Men, the movie with the Professor Xavier. You know what I mean? Because all children had special abilities, and they must be, surrounded by a good person. So, the deep state want to use these children for a lot of things, you know what I mean? So we must protect the children, because the children is the future. That's very important. And there are many, many children in the world don't understand why they have these abilities, and nobody can understand they is so different. I think about my life when I was a kid. I was apart. I don't have a friends because I was different with my abilities. And a lot of children mock me, and it was very difficult for me. So my parents protect the son, me. And now when I say your project, that's a very beautiful project, because you learn and you made a bridge between the children with the animals, like a dolphin, like a horse, like a dog, like, the animals is so precious for humanity, because we can learn from the animals and we can learn from telepathy. And with your school, you can access and develop telekinesis and a lot of things, because all children have this, and they must access and develop and more powerful. If they don't have people close to these children and understand, that's not good. But your project is so amazing, my friend, because I think it's not only a project, it's a project for humanity, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm so proud of you for this project, because my wife, Melanie, had the same project since a few years, and we talked together. And when we saw your project, we were very emotional, because it's exactly the same project, a school for develop abilities of children, protect children. And it's like Aramis. So congratulations for your project, first of all.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I have goosebumps.
I know.
Yeah, that's actually a point I wanted to bring up earlier. Is it's not just like the struggling children; they're struggling for a reason, and it's because, well, for one, everyone learns uniquely, right? But also, the reason they're struggling is because they're being forced to suppress these abilities. And like, this isn't just a school. It's it's not going to be like Harry Potter where that's all they do. It's education. You're working with animals and nature and all this stuff, and gardening and health. But at the same time, it allows children to lean in and discover their abilities, because a lot of times they don't really even know what it is that what they excel in. And they don't learn that until later on in life, and then it's very confusing. But if someone's there to hold their hand through that process and assist them at an early age, imagine what the future will hold for all of us. And I just think, what you said is amazing, and I really do think that that's another aspect we haven't covered yet tonight. So thank you for bringing that to the table. And what Abby said earlier about the bathroom thing and the iPad and all that, I'm thinking to myself, like, I heard a phrase one time: only the devil can complicate a handshake.
Yes.
Like,
you know what? Sorry, me to cut you.
Yeah.
I be careful what I say, because everything, every word, each word is analyzed, but you understand what I mean. So during these 2 or 3 years of darkness, everyone must stay in house, and there is what I mean? It was the plan to stop the awakening of human, and in particular children, because they want at this moment to children, because the children awake, and this is a new generation. So if you killed this this powerful of awaken, you kill the future. So your project, my friend, is a bomb, because you are the hope of humanity with your project. Seriously.
Yeah. Wow. The hope of humanity.
Wow. I'm going to make a t-shirt.
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
that is
under the Aramis logo. I'll put the hope of humanity down at the bottom.
Exactly.
But in all serious though, Jean Charles and Alex, and I'm curious to hear your opinion too, Alex. My biggest platform, my biggest issue, is the labeling of these children. And I am telling you, despite these things and the 3D interference and the poisons and the toxins, yes, that all lowers the vibration even more and suppresses. But I'm telling you that these children are different for a reason. They are not hyperactive because they are trying to be a pain in the butt. They are hyperactive because they are multidimensional. We are not supposed to sit still in a classroom on a chair for 6 hours being lectured at under fluorescent lighting, memorizing and not learning anything. They're trying to tell us, hey, I need to be outside. I need to ground. They know innately what they're supposed to be doing. and everything is wrong. We have voice to skull technology. We have grid systems around these schools. The children are being indoctrinated, and really against their will. But the children of today are standing up and they're saying, I have had enough. And that's why they won't look at you in the eyes. That's why they were refusing to speak. And there are so many nonverbal children. That's why they are being labeled with autism or Asperger's, because they're so intelligent. They're off the charts intelligent. They're so innovative that they're proving their teachers wrong, because the teachers don't know what to do with them, because they're so much more intelligent than they are, and they're beyond the curriculum. So we need to update the education system so that children have an opportunity, number one, to be themselves. Number two, not to be afraid to explore their gifts. And number three, to be in a sacred, safe environment where they can thrive. And we have mentors, and I'm going to say it, I'm a guardian and a divine mom. I will make sure they are safe to do what they are here to do. And that is to discover, rediscover, and activate their innate knowledge, wisdom, and gifts. They are our greatest teachers. But like Lily said something really important at the beginning of the show, it's up to us. If I don't do this, if we don't do this for them, who's going to do it? Then we're just going to have another generation of adults that are just like us, frustrated, closed off, trying to activate, trying to get through this indoctrination system, and just, pent up and frustrated. We don't want that. So we have to do something. That's why my logo is be part of the change. And it takes all of us to be part of the change.
Lily, would you like to chime in? You've been quiet over there for a while, engaging with the chat. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Lily's been taking care of the chat for me. Thank you.
You're good. Yeah. No, I love everything that Alex and Jean-Charles are saying. Hi, guys. It's so good to see you again. Yeah, I mean, I resonate so much that what Alex was saying about the bridge, that's part of what I was saying in the beginning. And then what Jean-Charles brought up, because so if I have a child, and I'm interested in this for myself, I want training on intuition, on discernment, on special gifts and abilities. How do we heal with our hands? Like, that's where we're moving into. And the children coming in now, I mean, I can't even imagine the children who are going to be coming in over the next 10 years, but the ones now are even so special. So I'm glad that you brought that up. That was something I wanted to bring up a little bit earlier, but I didn't get a chance to chime in. I love superpowers, and we all have them. And with the age that we're in, discernment's really important, and intuition is our best ally and our best friend. So I think nurturing that, because there's a lot of moms there's a lot of people who they try to shut down that intuition. Or my friend Katie, her nephew, she was on the phone with him last night. He called her up because he's been seeing things. He's been seeing some things, and other people will kind of shut that down. Oh no, you're just making stuff up or whatever. So he talked to Katie, and she was kind of coaching him through it. Here's what you can do. Like, we need people who understand the spiritual and multidimensional world, because it's all around us, and the veil's getting thinner and thinner. So that's what I would like to chime in. I think that's incredibly important.
Well, and that's what Alex is doing, right? Like, we need to teach the adults what I can't just open up learning centers and teach children metaphysics and esoteric subjects where the parents are like, what the heck are you doing? So the adults are asking for it too. I mean, I get questions, I'll ask all the time, can you teach me these children's classes? Can the adults join in? So Alex is doing that with his 5DU Academy. The adults need to learn too, because if the adults don't understand, they're not going to understand what their children are doing, and they're not going to get it.
Sherri, I think this is a good time to remind people where to donate, and maybe even go through some of the raffle prizes again for everyone who wasn't here. I think that's important, because people are asking about it in the chat. They don't know about it. So if they're not going to watch the replay.
You know what I did? I changed the link here because it's so much easier to remember. If you go to aramiscreativelearning.com/donate, it takes you to the same PayPal donation link, because someone asked, is it the same thing? It's just easier for people to copy and paste that than that whole long PayPal donation link. So that's why I did that. So just go to aramiscreativelearning.com, and it's so easy to find the donation link there. I won't go through the slideshow of the prizes again, but I will tell you that we have 22 prizes ranging from a tarot card reading sessions, biofeedback sessions, telemedicine, holistic veterinary session with a good friend of mine who's an amazing holistic vet. Laura Van Tyne's offering a spiritual coaching session. Abby Lynn is doing a voice alchemy session. We have the Michael Jordan championship, Chicago Bulls championship autographed ring replica picture. Yssah, which is supposed to be here this evening. I don't know what happened to her, so I hope she's okay. She's donating a session. There we have 2 tickets available to go to Journey to Truth in Hawaii, paid for not their flights, but to go to for the week. The Star Knowledge Conference is donating. I'm speaking at that conference, the 30th anniversary Star Knowledge Conference. And Nikki is donating tickets for that as well. And I'm also speaking at the Mount Shasta event in July, along with Lily and many others. And Jonathan is also offering 1 free ticket. So there's iridology, so many beautiful prizes. I did a video on my website and slideshow. It's on my Facebook, and it's also in the description below. We also have tons of other prizes for our charity events coming up in person here in Palm Beach. We have 2 coming up. So we have other donations from Michael Jaco, Jessica Jones, and many others that are more physical items that we will have in person. So I think that covers it.
Yeah, and really quickly, also maybe share the picture on how they win a prize, and so explain that process one more time. So, well, I can do it too. Whenever you donate, but
can you do it, because I took it out?
Okay, so whenever you donate, anybody that wants to donate through the PayPal link or the link that you see there on the screen, aramiscreativelearning.com, for every $10 you spend in donations, every $10 equals 1 ticket, 1 raffle ticket. And you'll be entered as many, if $100 is 10 raffle tickets. And there's going to be a prompt whenever you donate to pick the top 3 items that you're interested in. And that's how it will be decided who wins what prize. And it'll go by order of operation, whatever is available by the time it gets to you. If it's number 1, 2, or 3 on your list, that's how it works. So everyone who is in the chat, any donation is greatly appreciated. If you want to donate and you're not interested in the prize and you just want to leave the prizes for other people, you can just put prize not required in your donation, and we greatly appreciate that. Everything is for investing in humanity or hope for the future. Like John Charles said, this is a very big movement, and it's going to take all of us, like Lily said, and it's truly a collective movement. We can't do it alone. Sherri is taking this on, and it takes a team. Something like this takes a big team and a lot of support. So I just wanted to throw that out there before we move on.
Yes, thank you. There's so much to say, so much to get through, so many beautiful guests. I want to thank you, Alex and Jean-Charles. We have 3 more amazing guests ready to come in. I don't want to keep them waiting too much longer. Thank you for everybody that's watching, that's donating. I am so filled with love and gratitude right now. My heart is exploding. I'm trying to keep it together. So thank God Tyler is helping me through this right now, because I'm trying not to cry. I'm so excited. Thank you, my beautiful friends, Jean-Charles. I hope to see you soon at the opening. Alex, I hope to see you at the May 16th event. You better be there. You're not too far away. Please come.
That's right.
You're welcome to hang out too if you'd like. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in our next guests. My dear friend, Michael Jaco, and Scott McKay, and Sacha Stone. Welcome.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Sacha.
Hey, Jean.
Welcome.
Nice to see you there, brother.
Yeah.
Oh
Sherri, did you intentionally do the first half of the show all feminine, the last half all masculine?
I did not. No, actually, I did not. I did not do that at all. But I just want to share something to start really quickly. Michael Jaco, I can say you're my friend. We have known each other for, 5 years now. And I just want to share something really special. Michael Jaco and I have done 2 workshops together. And in one of the workshops, he did a remote viewing guided meditation. You'll remember this story. This is the first workshop we did together. Actually, we've done 3. My goodness. It was the first time we worked together. And he did a meditation. And of course, I went off in my own world, and he was guiding people to somewhere, and I was off in my own world. The point of the story is I came out and I was bawling, and I had to share with Michael afterwards that the vision that I got, now mind you, this was in 2022. The vision that I got was my daughter, who at that time was probably 8 years old, something like that, 7 years old. I had a vision where I was in this mountain, and I was in a cave, and I was walking through, and all of a sudden this gorgeous woman walked up to me that was way taller than me, like 6 feet tall. She had long brown hair, and she was beautiful. And I'm looking at her, and I'm like, who is she? And she's running to me, and she gets closer, and she's like, Mom, Mom, Mom. And I'm like, Aramis? And she's like, Mom, we did it. We did it. And I'm like, what did we do? And she goes, Aramis is open all over the world. We did it. And I'm bawling in the middle of this banquet hall with hundreds of people, because my daughter was showing me the future of how we had done it, and everything worked out. And she was an adult, and I'm going to cry if I continue to talk about that. But Michael, you brought that out in me, and you don't even realize what you did for me, because that kept the momentum for me and the passion going forever, for even till today. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that story. And I was like, wow, she saw into the future, and here we are. You did it.
Yes. Well, Sacha Stone, I actually have never formally met you, and I want to thank you so much for your willingness to come on today. And I really want to introduce myself and say thank you for coming on. And it's a real pleasure and honor to have you on here this evening.
Well, thank you, Sherri. Very much appreciated. I'm here in Tulum, Mexico. Just actually received this bunch of roses from Scott McKay, and I was just actually writing a thank you note back to Scott.
Wow.
Good joke. No, but I'm happy to see Scott, my bestie, and Michael. Miss you, brother. So good to see you. And
Good to see you, man.
Jean-Charles Moyen. And Alex, 5DU. What a fantastic name. My God.
Thank you.
I hope you copyrighted that.
Yes, I did.
Good to meet you, Sherri. And nice to see you, Tyler.
Yeah, you too. Yeah. So actually, Sacha, while you have the stage here, you're the founder of many organizations, including the New Earth Project. So I'm sure that you can probably relate to what Sherri's trying to create here. And maybe you could chime in and just let the audience know why you're supporting this mission for Sherri, and why, some encouraging words to help people understand why it's important to donate in this.
Sure. I'm new to the conversation. I literally parachuted in about 7 minutes ago backstage and was listening in. But for me, the whole premise of typhonic consciousness, or consciousness of the unborn child, perinatal, bringing in a consciousness and allowing our children, younger generations, to be the conduit to source is everything. Connected to the mechanics of ascension and how we now take our next evolutionary shift, a step towards upshift. So for me, anything and everything within this theater is very, very important. I mean, I need to learn a great deal more about the work of Sherri and the organization, but I would say anything connected to consciousness and to the children at this time is integral to our own salvation. So yeah, I'm again looking forward to learning more from you, Sherri.
Oh, well, thank you, Sacha. I know you're not able to come to the May event, but we'll have our time together to sit down and chat a little bit more about the project. And Scott and I just had an interview recently, and I know, Scott, you know a lot about what I'm doing. Do you have any thoughts or your opinions about the education system and the work that I'm doing?
Yeah, first I'd say I have met Sacha Stone in person, and it's far better than you can possibly imagine. So I just want you to brace for that impact when that day comes.
Okay.
And I'm always flattered because he listens a lot to my stuff, and he's adopted my style of communication, language, vernacular, and so it's very flattering. First, I'll say what I would like to say is look at this screen here. Look at these amazingly powerful people. What's so exciting is this is where we are in the world today. We, the people, are taking everything back from these guided structures of failure. And I'm so inspired by your story. And, you know, we've had you on a couple of times, and it's amazing to me what you've been through in your life and what you've endured, and how your husband specifically helped you break through, you know, this mountain of pain and suffering, and taken that and then transmuted that into this unbelievable education system. This is the anchor of how we change this planet. Obviously, we're in an ascension track, but the most angelic beings who are going to take this into that 1,000 years of bliss and you know, rebuilding Eden, it is this most powerful resource, and it's going to be handed over to, or this system is going to be handed to this new generation of live little beings. And I was having this vision. I was thinking, man, I hope, like, the things that are happening today in the precious metals world, I'm thinking, man, I hope silver goes to $1,000 an ounce like they're talking, because I'm going to lay $1 million into your lap and say, here, build one of these schools somewhere. That's just, to me, is just the most amazing thing. So my hat's off to you. You have bootstrapped this thing yourself and got it to where you're inspiring. I haven't seen all day, but look at this group here, and there's a lot of people that are going to come right to the forefront to fight this battle to get your style of teaching into this new system. So my hat's off to you, and gentlemen, mad respect for all of you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. And actually, it's funny you said that about the silver, because I've had that thought for a while now. You know, we're all waiting for this RV financial reset, whatever it looks like, XRP to pop, you know, something, you know, silver to get to $1,000. And I've thought the same thing. Like, if I was blessed to have something like that, just, you know, overnight become abundant, I would absolutely do the same thing. Like, one of the first things I would do with that money is donate it into Sherri and other foundations like it that are going to support the children and, you know, the future of humanity. I think that's where our attention needs to be focused. If we find ourselves in a situation where we have this money and what are we going to do with it, I think there's no better place to put it, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Michael, you and I have known each other for a while. I've been on your channel more times than I can count. And I just want to thank you for your continued support and your beautiful, wonderful, incredibly amazing wife, Tracy, my friend. You know, do you have anything you want to add on what you've seen happening over the years and the transition and the need of this, you know, this shift in education for children and you know, the future generations?
Yeah, this school is definitely the future. My kids were small and to go to school, they would definitely be going to a school like this. No question about it. Now we've worked together, like you talked about, for a long time, and you have the talent, you have the capability to take people that are children that are, you know, multidimensional, high dimensional, that come in, star seeds and so forth. I believe that most of our children now are star seeds, and, you know, those that want to be, you know, like star seeds. So you're going to take them to that level, and I'm very, very excited that you're going to do that. And to be part of this is to be part of the future. And everyone that comes in and supports this helps to move this future, because it's our consciousness that really, you know, makes this happen. It was your consciousness 5 years ago, your dream, your vision, and, you know, the future that you saw that brought this into the now reality. So that's where we want to have our focus now. We want to have that, you know, we want to start to bring things into fruition, bring things into reality, because we're the creators. We don't want these other people, the deep state types, to come in and create our reality. We need to do it. And you are going to be part of that. That's absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Michael. You know, I don't like talking politics. You guys know that about me. I like to keep it light. But having Sacha, Michael, and Scott on right now, and all of you, I'm just curious, without getting too specific, like, what are some of the world changes that we can talk about to our audience right now? Because a lot of people are in this fear mode, you know, because there is a lot of chaos. So moving away from children for just a second, you know, what are some words of encouragement that you guys can share that you're seeing to somehow showcase to people that we are moving forward, that things are positive, that we're moving in a positive direction despite the chaos, despite some setbacks. Like Michael, you are out every day talking on your show. Scott, you as well. Patriot Street Fire. I mean, what better name than that? Sacha, I know you do the same. Like, what are some things that we can tell people watching to boost their confidence right now in the world, and that we are actually moving in the direction where these schools can come into fruition?
Well, I'd like to jump in there first. In the first instance, the recognition that everything is a choice, and that we've reached an indivisible line between the old Saturnian satanic age and a new age, which will pass briefly through what you'd call a Luciferian age, which is the false light matrix. So that as the fallen light of Atlantis is dissolving, we're moving across a threshold. So we're still going to be enchanted by false light. Smart cities, transhumanism, that kind of thing is part of the false light of the Luciferic sort. Much better than the satanic age, trust me. Moving beyond the ritual satanic nonsense and the bloodbath of the last 13,000 years of our so-called history. Now we move into this emergence, and we have a choice. So we can move through this brief intermission of false light, but we have a choice. We can absorb the new geometry of light, which is impacting us. As we move from the Piscean into the Aquarian age, the geometry of light has changed. Meaning to say, when I say choice, I'm talking about to wake up every day and begin to see the world through the eyes of a child. That is the greatest gift and benediction we can give ourselves, as well as teach one another in the spirit of fellowship. Don't permit yourself or your fellows to continue carrying the old, jaded, skeptical, cynical worldviews, because that's a choice. I can choose to wake up in the morning, open the window, look out, and I can choose to affirm, to expand, to create. I can lean into life. And that is the absence of fear. That is where I just choose to embrace the emergent new earth horizon, as I call it, this new geometry of light. Conversely, we can choose to constrict and to still hold on to old shapes and old forms and old orthodoxies and old dogma. And that will bring us into a cataclysmic tailspin, into ultimately dissolution into space dust. That's a choice. So, what was the great benediction or gift that came out of the satanic covidiacy, which assaulted every living being on the planet, essentially? It was the greatest gift. It was the gift of discernment, of being able to actualize that sentient conduit to source, our divine conscience, which said, nay, absolutely not. Get thee behind me, Satan. And those of us who knew it, felt it, embodied it, enacted it, manifested a new world beyond that satanic death grip, which was threatening to overtake us. I was with Michael Jaco, Scott McKay, and to some extent even Jean-Charles in the last few years on the front line, fighting that diabolical thrall, which was something out of an apocalyptic, Tolkien kind of novel. We all faced it. But we chose to lean into that storm. We chose to walk through that storm, not be pushed back by it or try and flee from it. And as any sensible cow knows, if you lean in and you move through the storm, you keep walking through it, you will be the one that comes through it sooner. So here we are, blinking into the new light of a new dawn. And we are the ones who are now able to imagine and dream into manifestation, because that emergent geometry of light is commensurate with the spirit that we embody and enact. So I would just say in closing, everything is a choice. You can choose to affirm, to expand, and to create. At this time, more than any other time in the history of time, we are able to move into full synthesis and coherence with the Creator mind and become true sons and daughters of God. And that, of course, is exactly what you're engendering in this beautiful metric that you're creating with your Artemis ecology.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
Michael or Scott, do you want to add to that?
Mike?
Yeah, I can go. So, I can always talk like Sacha. Sacha's, it's like
I didn't want to follow him. That's why I pushed you in front of him.
I know, right? Like, how do you follow that up? But, Sacha is, wordsmith. I love to hear Sacha talk. It's like mesmerizing. But, that's where our consciousness is focused, like Sacha's talking about, in this new earth that we're bringing into reality now. We've dreamed about this for a very long time, but our dreams have been suppressed. But now they're coming true, and it's a beautiful, beautiful time. Of course, there's still the fear that's trying to be imposed on us. But those of us that are awakening, and I think that your school will do, Sherri, to help children not to even go there, to be the creative aspect that we all dreamed of, being when we were children, and that got hijacked. But now we have the potential and the possibility, and I think the absolute vision that we're going to see that come into fruition now. So it's chillingly amazing what we're moving into.
Right. And I want to say something really quick, and then Scott, you can take it away, but something Sacha said about seeing the world through the eyes of a child. In fact, if you want to remind yourself why we need this change, is we put ourselves back in our inner child and remember what the world looked at through our eyes, right? We've all seen the world through the eyes of a child. And I actually loved that you said that, because it's easy to put ourselves back there if we just take a minute and actually look at the lens through the eyes of a child and see what this world, like what actually needs to change and what used to excite you when you were young. So I just found that very interesting the way you said that. And I just wanted to add that really quickly. But Scott, if you have anything you'd like to add as far as what Sherri asked about, politically, like why is it not as scary as it might look?
Well, I think, listening to Mike talk, one of the things, there's two shifts that we can point to that's happening in the world. Our mindset and concept of how this world is designed for us to live in and be built. We always talk about they need to do this, they need to do that. Mike's talking about we. We're now talking about we. And so that is we, the people, the angelic realm, are coming into this vibrational space, as Mike talks about, the love vibration, I find it very unique. We see this emergence of people that are stepping into their own light, their own power, coming forward, having the courage to do it, and just sharing the best of themselves for the common good of this movement. And it's pretty cool to see, meeting Mike and Sacha and the other gentleman, John Charles. We never got a chance to do anything together, work together. Alex, Tyler, we'll change that. Now they get the chance to meet you here. But this incredible collaboration is happening, across this spectrum that we now operate in and dominate. We dominate it so much in taking this power from them. I remember sitting on election night, whenever I was up here doing a political analysis for somebody's channel, went downstairs, turned on Fox News. I didn't pay attention to elections since 2020. Once we all realized everything's been stolen. And I completely disconnected from the political, machine, which I've been part of my life for 30 years. And so I don't know what's going on most of the time in that realm. Doesn't matter. But I sat there and I listened to Fox News. One of the anchors said this. They said, we've completely overlooked the podcast community. They're the reason Donald Trump got reelected. Look at the power in that statement, how the hands of we the people, like the podcast community, having this great impact, taking this information that came to us in so many ways negatively, and then the power behind it that created this amazing ball of light that hit the planet. Never in recorded history or civilization has there been literally probably 2 billion people around the world simultaneously in every country uttering one phrase: the Great Awakening. That term is global. I think of any time in history where all of humanity has a vibrational connection, a conception when it's talking about the Great Awakening. This is what's so exciting about this planet, the shifts that are happening, the acquiescence to an idea like Sherri's. I mean, I can see we're all excited here. There's a massive vibration happening here. We're cheerleading you when we're not even with you, because this is what is going to tip the whole axis that we spin on, to where the power of the people and them coming into their own power and realizing I'm not just another human on the planet. There is something extremely special about me, about that person there, that girl there, that most don't even realize it, but they're slowly creeping into that light. And when that light's hitting people, they're looking, like realizing, wow, I didn't really know I could do this. That's why you have people at school board meetings overturning left-wing liberal school board meetings, people coming out and doing things in society, in everyday society, they never dreamed they would ever do, but they've been perpetuated by this inspiration that's hitting all of us. So I'm inspired every day to get up, no matter how tired we are. And, we're all working overtime every day, but when you get up, like somebody said to me, when you're chasing your dream, you don't need sleep. You have boundless energy. And look what we do now, all of us. In 10 years ago, we're doing our job, running our companies, hoping for a little time in the weekend, have a little enjoyment, and just not reveling in the work. This work, we all revel in, no matter how tired we are, how much travel we got to do. We want to get up every day and keep on doing it. That's the shift that's happening, I think, in society. It's really exciting to be a part of it.
Amen to that. Yeah. Once you learn about what this world is, like, there's no going back. There's no going back. Like, this is all there is. This is all there is. And I love that you said that. Like, every one of us, everyone here, it's a full-time job. I know people think that we might just be like an online influencer or whatever, but it really is putting your reputation on the line, saying things that go against the grain and triggering lots of people. And we've all faced that pushback, and it truly is a battle right now. And I love everything that you just said, Scott. So thank you.
Absolutely. And, I believe we're all born with this beautiful light, this innate knowledge and wisdom that we come with through our spiritual blueprint. And these indoctrination camps, these factories that we call schools, which is this anagram for loosh, just this energy harvesting environment that our beautiful children come in with such ambition, such imagination, such creativity, and all of it is just squashed over time by memorization, it's like the opposite of pursuit of knowledge. It's just memorization and do what you're told and follow the leader in front of you and suppress and your opinion doesn't matter. And the light just diminishes over time, and we forget who we are, and we forget what our power is, because we feel like we need to be like everyone else. And if we don't fit in the box of society that they've created, the powers that were deemed that is what is appropriate, then there's absolutely something wrong with me, and I need to be medicated, or I need to be divided again with placed in a separate space. And that is wrong. And our children generations have been growing up that way, feeling like there's something wrong with them. And it started with the black sheeps, those that ended up in mental facilities because no one believed them. No one believed they were multidimensional beings that were timeline jumping and had this innate ability. They were looked down upon. And these children of today are saying, no, I've had enough of this. You listen to me, because I am here to teach you something. And if you just give me the opportunity, 5 minutes to speak my mind, you might learn something from me. And I will tell you, my children are my greatest teachers. And I believe that children are our mentors, our greatest mentors, because they are bringing in the ascended ancestral knowledge that they could have been our great grandparents that are coming back here to bring back that knowledge and innate wisdom. So they need to be provided a space, an opportunity, a learning environment where they can not only thrive, but be themselves and discover that wisdom within them without being ridiculed, without being labeled with autism and ADHD and put on medication and shamed. We are done with that. We are absolutely done with that. Humanity is done with that. And right now, right here with all of you and everyone watching and all the guests that came before and everyone that is supporting what I'm doing. And when I get on stage, whether it's in front of 50 people or 1,000 people, I am passionate and I don't back down, because somebody needs to protect these children. Somebody needs to be the divine mother, the divine father, the guardians of these children, to make sure that the next generations are set up to thrive and to be in the most beautiful sacred space, so we can shift the trajectory of the future of this planet so that we truly can go into the golden era. Because that's what my book, Starseeds and the Great Awakening, is all about. But you have to have the courage to change. So it takes the courage of Tyler and Jean-Charles and Alex and Sacha and Michael and Scott and all the other beautiful guests and everybody watching this. If we do not have the courage to change, to reflect, to go within, and to embody the best version of ourselves that we possibly can be, then our children will not thrive because we will not set the foundation for them. And that is what this is all about. We need to step up. It's time.
You are a direct indicator, as was the mama bears coming to the battlefield, that the divine feminine is rising on the planet. And that's where the power is coming from. And it's being driven by that. And I was so inspired to watch the mama bears come alive and say, if the men or hubbies or whoever aren't going to do it, sit down, get out of the way. We're going to war in this spiritual realm. And it was incredible to watch happen. And you doing these kind of things. And we need all hands on deck, every woman, all of her power, all the energies, the protective capacities of the men to guard that and let them unleash that returning power on the planet. It's now become an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to discount the men too. It is the divine masculine. We don't want the patriarchy anymore. We need the divine, beautiful masculine energy to come forward too. It's a unity. It's a balance of the divine, sacred, masculine and feminine. So we need our beautiful men to stand up, to protect, to guide, to support, but also be part of this transition process. Do something about it. Help our children, help your children, even if you don't have children. Do you care about the future of this planet? Blanket question. Doesn't matter if you have children or not. Do you care about the future of humanity? It's a yes or no question. If the answer to that is yes, then there's something you can do about it. If the answer is no, then I'm sorry, you're watching the wrong channel. You got to go to the next one.
John Charles brought it up, is the importance of what you're doing is the protection of the children. And I think what we're dealing with here is when parents learn about the education system and the potential of what could happen to their children being pulled out of school. We know all the horrific things that can happen. Creating a place where you can trust, where parents can trust to send their children, knowing that somebody's not going to come and pull them out of school. They're not being scouted for some secret program, whatever the case is. It's amazing that you're creating something, or that we're all creating something where parents can feel safe about sending their kid to this amazing creative learning center where they can wholeheartedly trust what's happening and trust that their child is getting the absolute best that we can offer, that you can offer. So I think that's one of the key things to consider here for anyone who is interested or on the fence about donating, is this is about protecting the children as well. This isn't just creating this amazing alternative learning system, but it's protecting the children and then therefore the future of humanity.
No judgment. Important.
Mm-hmm.
Well
and the best is yet to come.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we are at the top of the hour. I want to respect everyone's time. Obviously I'm fine to stay longer, but does anybody have anything that they want to say that's really just coming forward for them right now?
Yeah, I'll happily jump in my closing pieces and my reflections on this conversation here. And my prediction is that the children that you're most specifically concerned with and about, Sherri, are likely to be the demographic of children that will be the pioneers of the new geometry, the new calculus, the new physics. So certainly within the next 7 years, we will see that. Once this demographic of special children are incubated, stewarded in the right way, and given the right arena and containment, they are not treated as special in the derogatory sense, but special in the superluminal sense. They will be defining the new geometry, the new calculus, and the new physics. And when you talk about DNA being a fractal antenna to the star nations, well, again, these special kids are the ones who are more attuned to that conduit, connected to their star nation lineage. I hope, it is my earnest prayer and hope that generations to come, starting with this generation, will learn the craft of not speaking to children for the first few weeks after they've been born as babes. They ought to be held, they ought to be danced with, they ought to be sung to, they ought to be immersed in nature and in all the splendor of reality, but not the programmed syntax of Saturnian language. Emphasis international English language, which is the language of the devil, incidentally, if you understand true etymology and syntax. So the fact that we're programming kids with the goo goo gaga bullshit from the moment that they're born, that is dislocating and it completely inhibiting and cauterizing their capability to naturally connect to their star linguistics, their galactic linguistics, and bring those language forms into the earthly plane. If we did not program them in the first few weeks, but simply created sound around them, again, harmonic sound, frequency, light, and allowed them to remember and bring that in, we would take a quantum leap forward in our own remembrance of who and what we are as the galactic genome, and move very rapidly from Homo sapien to Homo luminous. The other thing I want to say, just in closing, is that we should have a conversation. As Scott only here amongst this group know, we just launched the New Earth Exchange 2 days ago, April the 1st. It's very exciting, but I need to have a conversation with you, Sherri. We can almost certainly list your program onto the New Earth Exchange and have it financed in a multiplicity of different ways in a very significant way. We've got almost $300 billion worth of infrastructure projects, and some of them are actually education as well oriented, connected to the New Earth Exchange, which is about to be unleashed on the world, along with our own banking system and parallel financial system, which is hugely unprecedented, completely pioneering. It's the greatest thing I've ever given birth to, quietly in the last couple of days, but it's going to start thundering in the weeks and months ahead. And I'd love to have that conversation, because with these New Earth micronations, jurisdictions, which we've begun negotiating in the last 2 years in different parts of the world, as we are creating these new jurisdictions where we can practice anything without the interference of third-party intervention of governments and of the FDA and AMA and the World Education Councils and the World Heredity, all of that third-party interventionist nonsense. Once that's out the way, you can have a clean canvas in order to springboard at a quantum pace your particular modality. And we would certainly be interested in having a dialogue with you and seeing where we can inculcate and incorporate Artemis learning into the micronations which are being seeded this year and moving on. But it's a huge multi-billion-dollar objective, be heavily financed to the extent that it needs to be. But let's have that conversation.
Yeah.
I would be honored, Sacha. So thank you so much for those beautiful words and your support and even wanting to do that. And so we'll talk offline about how we can work together. So thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, really. I'm just beyond.
One last word for me.
Yes, please, Michael.
So the shutdown, of the educational system, which was started last year, is a very good indicator that we're moving into a very positive direction, and it adds to your energy. We just saw Artemis 2 just lift off on New Year's Day, April 1st, which they made us believe was you were a fool if you didn't believe it was New Year's Day. It had been changed. So now we're seeing 50 years. I remember as a little boy, as a child, watching, the spaceman on the moon. I was just so enthralled by that. But we've seen a lot of the dark forces come in and hijack all of that. And now that's coming back. So this is a time of celebration. This is a time of renewal and a time when new things like Aramis Academy is going to start. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
Mm-hmm. No coincidence they chose the new year to launch. I think it was delayed until that day intentionally.
Yeah. Very good.
Specifically for the energetic alignment, like April, there's a lot on the horizon here in April. So who knows what's around the corner. But yeah, that well said. Thank you.
Can you imagine the education system we adults get to walk into when all those structures come down to start learning the truth of everything? We're going to be studying as hard as the new generations of children are, because it's going to be, I've predicted this for years. Adults are going to want to sit in front of, let's say, an educational forum, i.e. today, a computer, for 8 hours a day. We couldn't stand being in school when we were kids because they made it what it is. But I think we're going to see adults every day are going to get up because they just want to go to their school 4 or 5 hours a day and have nothing coming at them but everything, the truth of the universe, of all things. I think it's just going to be an incredible daily experience. It's like reliving your whole life again, except now it's while we're rebuilding Eden. It's going to be just magnificent.
Absolutely, Scott. Alex, any last words?
Yeah, a few different thoughts from what we've been talking about so far. I loved what Michael was saying, and I'll piggyback on that as one of my comments about going to the moon. You know, there was a little boy from Fox News who was interviewed, and they said, well, you know, what do you think about all of this? And he's like, we're going to the moon. Like, what are you talking? It's so exciting, you know, like to be a visionary again is what America is all about. And I watched the interview with Benny Johnson interviewing the NASA director. And if you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. He's so passionate and so excited. And he had this vision since he's a little boy. And here he is in this position. And we're talking about moon bases and all these things that, you know, a generation or two ago, the kids used to look forward to. And, you know, your question earlier was about, is there something in terms of encouraging hope for people right now? And, you know, the White House came out with their app recently. And is something I highly recommend looking into because it's tracking all of the wins that are happening very tangibly. And it's clearly the most transparent administration that we've ever had. So all of this to say that we're dismantling the old as we're ushering in the new. And that's where all of us leaders and visionaries come in to help construct what's coming next. And so I'm so excited for this. Because the old school system, as we all know, with the Rockefeller educational program and trying to create worker bees and drones and whatnot, like that's the old paradigm, you know. And there are so many people that are looking for, okay, but what's going to replace that? And this is where you come in. So I'm just really happy for you and for what the future holds.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to everybody that joined in this evening. I just want to say a couple last words. There are a lot of ways that we can get this going. Not only do we need donations, money obviously is important because these are humanitarian funded learning centers and we need money to open them. But just like I said the other night on Lily's channel, is that the way that people can really help me to get this going on top of the money, and especially for those that barely are making it by and don't have anything to donate. What I really and truly am asking for is that we need to remember our innate power of co-creators. We are the co-creators, not the dark side. The dark side steals our creation by mind hijacking us into buying in and creating what they want for us. And that is not that we have the potential to co-create whatever it is that we want. And Sacha said, we have a choice. We have a choice right now to decide, what do we want for our children? What do we want the future to look like? And so it's not just about money. If everybody in the world that resonates with this, if you sit and we all at the same time project and co-create these learning centers into fruition all over the world, we have the capacity to make this happen, because you know what will happen? The universe will respond and the money will come. So it's not just about the monetary donations. It's about the energy that we can co-create and put this out to help manifest it, to help magnetize this into fruition. Because I believe there is a timeline, there's a future version of myself where this has already occurred. Like I said to Michael that one night, my daughter showed me this is already existing. Years ahead, she came back to tell me, Mom, we did it. This is already done. So that is how you can help me. If people ask me all the time, how can I help? Help me by helping to co-create, put this vision out into the world instead of focusing on all the doom and gloom and what we can't change. Mm-hmm. Focus on what you want. Right. Project out the beautiful imagery of children outside in nature, learning, thriving, and embodying the density that they are meant to. And so that is what I'm asking tonight, not just for money, but we're looking for sponsorships. I am looking for, of course, larger donors, but I'm also looking for community and networking. So if anybody is listening to this and is inspired in any way and wants to talk to me, please reach out to me. On my website, sherridivband.com is the easiest way to find me, or you can find me through aramiscreativelearning.com. The last thing I want to do is promote. I have a huge charity event in person. This is in Palm Beach County. Carl Remy is a comedian who has generously donating his time for a very incredible evening of comedy, silent auction, aerial performance, DJ. We have a raffle prizes. I think I'm planning a wedding. That's what it feels like to me. This is going to be a spectacular evening. If anybody is in the South Florida area on May 16th, please come out, and I'm going to do a speech, and we are going to have comedy, and it's going to be fun, and we are going to spread the word and network a little bit more. So please come to this event if you are local and able to. Spread the word, because again, this is going to take collaboration. This is a collaborative effort. I do not believe in competition. I believe in unity and collaboration, and that's why all of us are here this evening together. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I love that you're bringing comedy into the equation as well. That's amazing. Laughter heals the world.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys all for being here. I know it's the first time meeting some of you here, and some of you already know, but this was an amazing evening, Sherri. Thank you for putting this together. Thank you for everybody that's been here in the chat and who's donated. And if you don't know how to donate, the link is scrolling across the bottom of the screen now. And if you're just now tuning in, you can rewind the video. And a few times throughout, we explained how you can enter to win these raffle prizes. Every $10 of donation buys you one raffle ticket. It's pretty simple. So donate, support, and thank you so much. You guys are all part of really something special. And I don't know if you want to start wrapping this up now, or if anybody has any final words, but thank you. It was great meeting all of you. And this has been a wonderful evening, and we love you all. And we seriously can't do this without you. And Sherri, I'll let you close it up with some final words.
Yeah, I just thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of you beautiful gentlemen, the previous guests that were on, all of my friends, all of my family, my husband. I don't know how he puts up with me. My beautiful children, and just global support that I have, the people who have been following and supporting me for a decade, but more importantly, the last 5 years of what I've been doing and creating, and Michael having me on your channel multiple times, and Scott having me on your channel, and Tyler inviting me to speak at 3 of your conferences, and multiple times being on your channel. I'm just humbled and filled with gratitude. And I just, when you're doing something good and you're doing something that means something important, and it really is going to shift the future, the universe conspires, is that the right word? Brings it together. And that's what's happening right now. So thank you, all of you who are donating. Thank you. Please spread the word, share, like, subscribe to my channel. And Tyler, thank you again for creating our very first commercial. I will put that out publicly tomorrow. We premiered it tonight, but we will put it out tomorrow so everyone can see it. Thank you guys again for coming tonight. I am just humbled beyond. I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Good night, everybody.
See you later, Tyler.
Bye. Yeah, see you in Hawaii, John Charles.
Yeah, my friend. Bye-bye.
Bye.